Hey everybody, Charlie and I are two here, and welcome back to Pentiment. We last left off, we were walking mags around here and trying to get some information on the history of Tassing, and we were basically chastised for not being married yet. I don't think that's something Mags is actually interested in right now. So let's continue on. Did we talk to Martin? Oh, we did get that book. Can we look at the book? I don't think we can actually look at stuff in our journal, right? Oh, here it is. But Agita gave me the copy. She was nervous, but let me keep it. I should sit down to read it thoroughly soon. Perhaps I'll learn something. That'll probably pass time. But I'm assuming talking to Il Peter will also pass time. But let's see. Who knows? Some new people here. Juta, I don't remember her. Hey, Magdalene. Hetty, I do remember Hetty. Hello, Magdalene. How's the mural coming? I hear you browbeat the council into letting you do it yourself. I don't care about the council. I only want to finish the mural for my dad. Took some work, but I convinced them to let me paint the rat house, yes. They didn't have a chance against me once I'd set my mind to it. We want to do it for our dad. We love our dad. You're a dutiful girl, Magdalene. No one can fault you for that. But you, painting the rat house, I can't imagine what would happen when I was a girl. Or that would happen when I was a girl. Only those old Benedictine sisters ever did much art. Do you think they were happy without anyone around to need things from them? What a life. Except for the prayers, of course. Haha. Listening to Father Tomas on Sunday is enough for me. Anyway, it's good to see you standing up to the council. That Zimmerman boy seems to have a good head on his shoulders, though. Once you've settled down with him, you'll have a good life ahead of you. Wow, everybody just has, like, my path, like, figured out, don't they? I think I'd rather marry for love. I do like him. I think we could learn to love each other. I'm not going to marry him. It's hard to think about the future right now with what's happened to my dad. Well, sweet girl, I'm sorry. My mouth goes faster than my head sometimes. Or so Johann used to say. Johann, you dirty dog. Your dad's only ever been a fair weather friend to people like me, but he's a family man at heart, and I can respect that. I hope he knows how lucky he is to have you looking after him. He regrets it, you know, what happened that night the abbey burned. Thanks, Hetty. I'll see you later. He does regret it. I'm sure he does. He could have made a real difference for us, stuck his neck out, but he was scared. We all wish things could have turned out different, but that's life. Ha! Anyway, give my best wishes to your father and take care of yourself. Thanks, Hetty. Until later. Until then. All right, Hetty. Who is this? Simon. Where's Alvin? Hey, Magdalene. I heard what happened to your dad. How's he doing? Resting. He suffered a severe blow to the head. I'm worried to say the least. Why are we not concerned of, like, who gave him a severe blow to the head? All we're concerned about is painting the mural, which I get. That is a concern, but, like, shouldn't we be trying to figure out who hit this man on the head? Hans sends his regards. The Bauer household is praying for a swift recovery. Thank you, and thank Hans and Jutta as well. Well, our Klaus has always been such a bedrock of Tassing. I'd hate for him to die. It'd be, sorry. It's fine they're feared as well. It's best not to ignore one's fears. He's not going to die. I won't allow it. You don't have that kind of power, so we're going to say this one. Do you miss your father? Your real one, I mean. Do I miss him? Kind of. I don't remember Joseph all that much. He's become a haze of sorts, a faint echo, a feeling, an occasional emotion. I was so young when he got killed, Mom said I had trouble understanding what had happened for a long time. I understand my mom. She's like an empty hole in my life. I have nothing of her. It's not easy to experience with this type of loss and grief. Suppose not, but life goes on. We all got responsibilities. Can't sit around being somber forever. Tassing's been through a lot. We never get to stop mourning with all that's happened. Just like all of Bavaria. Will there ever be a stop to violence? Spoiler alert, guys from 1500s. I'm from the 2000s, and no, there has not been a stop to violence thus far. Anyway, the winter draws close. I got a lot of preparations to take care of. I truly hope Klaus recovers soon. God look after you both. Until later, Simon. Hans Gruber. Hello, Magdalene. Hello, Hans. Hope your dad recovers quickly. He's a good man. Dr. Stoltz thinks I should prepare myself for the worst. Thank you. I'll tell him you said that. I hope so, too. I wouldn't lay this on Hans. We don't have as far as I'm aware, we don't have like a very close relationship. So we'll just say thank you. I'll tell him you said that. Good. This town has seen too many terrible things, but we've recovered before. Maybe the Lord will return your dad to health, too. I pray that you're right. Be glad you have this time with him, I say. Wish I had as much with Helvig. Anyway, did you need something? Kraft hasn't bothered you again, has he? Or gotten into some other trouble? No, he's been fine. Mostly. They mostly come out at night. Mostly. Good. That boy's a thorn in my boot. That pig, still kicking. This pig's been around for like 40 years now. He's a lazy, arrogant, but doesn't care for his family. He'll bring shame to the Bauer name one day. I avoid sticking my nose into people's affairs, but Martin, ugh. Anyway, didn't mean to complain. Till later, Magdalene. Until then. All right. You know what this town needs? A pub. I guess they go to the Golden Hand, right? I guess that is their pub. Il Peter. I imagine this will make time go by, right? I don't want to do that. I'd rather read that book that we found. Look at his hands. They're exactly the same. Except for the thumb is on the right side. It's just got one line difference here. That's creepy. Hello, Peter. Can I talk to you for a moment? Eh? What's that? Can I talk to you for a moment? No, we're not going to yell at him. I was wondering if you could tell me some of the stories about Tassing. Oh, the old tales, Cough. It's been so damn long since anyone had a thought to ask me what I know. But there's still a few of the old tales knocking about in this skull. Heh. Are there any myths from even before the Romans came to Tassing? Do you know any Roman legends about Tassing? Let's go before the Romans. Of course there are. The Romans weren't the first ones to live here, you know. There are spirits older than the saints that live in these woods, older than the Romans. They protected Tassing before St. Moritz ever set blessed foot in town. What sort of spirits? But Father Tomas says that the only good spirit is the Holy Ghost. Everything else is of the devil. Bobby Boucher, that's of the devil. I thought the spirits only caused trouble, spoiling milk, making livestock sick, things like that. What sort of spirits? The sort that I'm getting at. Didn't your father teach you patience, Magdalene? Sorry. It's Perchta and her wild hunt that scare them evil ones away. They've protected Tassing since its founding day. Long before those Romans, our ancestors roamed these mountains under a great chieftain called Rhaetus. So, I'm going to interject here. Obviously, Wild Hunt, The Witcher. Witcher is a, Polish story, right? So is this just common folklore around this area? I would assume so. Germany, Poland, Czechoslovakia, or it's Czech Republic now, right? Lithuania, Latvia, all those areas kind of. Even Ukraine, I would imagine. I'm sure there's probably lines drawn in there where those stories probably don't cross over, but that general area, right? That's all kind of the same lore, I would imagine. Long before those Romans, our ancestors roamed these mountains under a great chieftain called Rhaetus. Wait, isn't Rhaetus a Latin name? Eh? The ending on his name is the masculine singular ending common on most male Roman names. Plenty of names end with the same letters. Oh, plenty of names end with the same letters. I thought that was an A. Doesn't make them Latin, doesn't it? Now quit your yammering and listen. No, Mags has a point. So his art style, right? He's like fading and like messed up and blotched. That's because he's old, right? That's a cool touch. Folk weren't as kind as they are now, and the tribes fought one another for the best land. The old chieftain was a yellow-bellied coward who neglected the old gods. He was too proud to make offerings. Because of him, the gods favored other tribes, and Radis' people had no land to call their own. Instead, they wandered through these mountains and valleys, hunting and gathering what they could to survive. Cough. One day, when winter was approaching, Radis went hunting and found a wounded wolf tangled in a trap. It's a trap. But instead of killing the beast, as most men would, he helped the beast and loosened it from its bounds. This is not the first time we've heard this story. Was the wolf a spirit in disguise? Why would he do that? Wolves kill livestock. Carl told me 2 of his sheep were killed by wolves last month. Sounds like Radis was a bad chieftain, too. Even I know it's foolhardy to let a wolf loose when you're hunting. I'm going to say he knew it was a spirit in disguise, right? Of course not. Wolves are wolves, girl. Okay, well, I was got that one wrong. Spirits don't need the skins of animals for their power. Still, you've got the sense of the thing. The old gods are keen to repay favors done, and Perchta is the goddess of the wild hunt. The wolves are her animals. She leads the wild hunt, and the wolves lead the hunts of the forest. Back in my day, folk knew it was bad luck to kill a wolf. Now I'm the only one who remembers these things. Cough, cough. Perchta saw Radis' actions and took favor on him, and told the wolf to lead the chief to her sacred spring. Radis led his people to the spring and claimed it for his homeland, and we've been in this valley ever since. Then those goddamn Romans came and destroyed everything. But you see, there were other gods protecting this place before St. Moritz. That's why a few of us still honor Perchta. She protects us against witches and fiends. It's a wonderful story, perfect for the first part of the mural. I agree, actually. That is kind of a badass story. But God protects us from spirits and devils now. We don't need Perchta, or salvation is in Christ. It's all superstition and just sounds like a story told to children. While I believe it is superstition and a story told to children, it is an awesome part of the town's history. So, it would be wonderful on the mural, so let's do that. Good, good. Nice to know I could still be of some use in this town. What about the Romans? Do you know any Roman legends of Tassin? Roman legends? Pah! I don't bother with stories from outsiders or tales of gods that aren't our own. The Romans did nothing but conquer our people and destroy this town. We spent generation after generation building Tassin back up from those days. And still our traditions keep dying, with no one to carry them on. That's why I want to know, Peter. These stories need to be on the mural. The mural, huh? Fine, but I don't know any of the old Roman shit. All right. I have a lot to think about. Thank you for sharing your stories with me, Peter. At least someone wants to listen to me. I'm tired. Talking so much has made my jaw ache. I'll leave you to rest then. God bless you, Peter. Ill Peter is probably my favorite character in this whole story. Just going to say that now. Maybe him and Sister Gertrude. Sister Gertrude's pretty legit, but Ill Peter don't give a fuck. That's what I love about him. He don't care what people think. He's going to say what he wants, and everybody else be damned. Big Yorg, what's up, buddy? Can we get you a patch? Do you want a cool pirate patch? Magdalene, how are the hinges on your doors? Fine, I guess. I mean, they can't be great because somebody hit my dad. Maybe Andres should take a look at them. I would have asked your father, but, well... Anyway, you wouldn't believe how many people in this town leave their hinges to rust. Really, Yorg, if you want an excuse to snoop in people's homes, just invite yourself over for supper. That's a little mean, but we did choose Pokey, and Magdalene is a bit pokey, so let's do it. That's not... The council is looking after the town. Paul would like to institute a yearly check of all homes in Tassin. Oh, yeah, that's great. What do you think of the idea, Yorg? It does seem a bit nosy to me. Why not just let folk take care of themselves? What do you think, Yorg? Well, it's not a bad thing, but I don't see why we need to make it official. Everyone in Tassin helps each other. As I see it, if someone notices a house in disrepair, we all pitch in to fix it. To do anything else would be unchristian. But if Paul wants to see it through, I'm happy to go along with it. Makes me feel useful, you know? Speaking of, I better get back to work. Nice to chat with you, Magda. See you later, Yorg. Chickens. All right, so we'll go through the town, and then we're going to go back and read that book. We do need to talk about Andres? He talked to him about our latches. You are getting old. Did you ever get married to that lady that Andreas told you to marry? Hello, Magdalene. How's Klaus? Reese and I are very worried. Reese, you say? Alive, and that's what matters. Did you discover who attacked them? You are the very first person to ask this question, which kind of makes you a bit suspicious, doesn't it? Unless the whole council is in on it. No, whoever it was, they left no sign. A terrible crime, terrible. May God look after you both. We had enough tragedy in this town. Fortunately, Dr. Stoltz appears to have found his purpose. I remember him being so sad when I was a girl. Really? He's so dour all of the time. Used to be worse. Like to talk about how he was destined for better places than this backwater alpine town. How he was meant for the courts of kings. No longer. He grew up. Did the revolt change him? Changed everyone. But he's the one who saw the bodies. He's not a heartless man, Magdalene. He deserves our compassion. Ah, but I shouldn't gossip. If there's anything Reese and I can do for you, let us know. I will. Thank you for your kindness, Andres. It's nothing. I will not get his name right this entire time, and I'm sorry for people who are named that, if there are people who are named that. I owe your father more than I can say. Take care, Magdalene. All right, man, there's a lot of people to talk to. I mean, that's kind of the crux of this game, though, right? Matilda. Bless you, Magdalene. Hello, Matilda. Hello, Voslav. Wait. You guys were part of the church. You're no longer a nun and you're no longer a brother. You guys are just like a couple now, right? Because you guys would sneak out and do things. I see what's going on here. Matilda, you can tell me now. Did you kill that duke? Or baron, rather? Very well. The Lord has blessed us more than we deserve. And how are you, Magdalene? I was worried with you keeping the house and the workshop all on your own. So are all the people that were in the abbey just living in the town now, or is it just you two? Let me bring by some soup for you and your father. Yeah, I'd like some soup. Dad would love that. I've hardly had a moment to cook a hot meal. I wouldn't want to impose. You're very kind. Dad would love that. Between your father, the shop, and the mural, I'm surprised you're not dead on your feet. He's very lucky to have such a devoted daughter. And before you worry about imposing, you're not. I just had an epiphany. You know how I kind of suspected Thomas before? I think Thomas is behind all of this stuff. Right? Because who is left to write these very... What's the word I'm looking for? Skilled writings in calligraphy with purple ink. Who has been the constant this whole time? Tomas, right? He's clearly on the council that doesn't want this mural to get done. The reason the mystic probably had those sightings or premonitions are probably because Tomas probably told her, right? Or maybe he was like scheming and she found out or heard somehow. Yeah, I'm liking him for all of this now that I think about it. And before you worry about imposing, you're not. Because think about it. Magdalene's dad got hit on the back of the head in a very similar fashion that the Baron got hit on the back of the head. But now, this hit didn't immediately kill our dad because Thomas is older and therefore would not be as strong or physically fit. All the pieces are lining up. And he's kind of like the go-between between the church and the town, right? Because he lives in the town. So he has much better access to the rat house. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. I'm saying Thomas did it all. And before you worry about imposing, you're not. Taking care of our neighbors is how Tilda and I serve Tassing. Oh, he calls her Tilda. Our vocation may have changed, but our gratitude to God and the town has not. I've always been so dedicated to the town, it's hard to imagine you two ever lived in the Abbey. Yeah, sometimes those days feel like another lifetime. A harder time, to be sure. Life feels pretty hard now. I thought the Abbey was better off than the town in those years. Were the Benedictines anything like the Pourclairs? What is a Pourclair? I've never heard of that. Order of contemplative nuns founded by St. Clare and Francis of Assisi. I have heard of him. He's a saint. As the name suggests, the Pourclairs are devoted to extreme poverty. They subsist purely on the donation of alms. So, literally poor Clares. No, I don't think they were like the Pourclairs. I thought the Abbey was better off than the town in those years. So we were told, but in private, I believe Father Gounod struggled to provide for a scriptorium and had a doubled monastery. Oh, and a doubled monastery. However, seeing both the town and Kearsall's struggle was only a part of what made that time hard. A nun's life can be a very challenging one, but I never had to deal with the difficulties you do now, Magdalene. What about your old life was difficult for you? Having to keep their relationship secret? I struggled with my vows, my discipline. I couldn't live as my sisters did. She had needs that only Voslav could attend to. I broke my vows, as did Voslav. My God, Matilda, was there no one else? Come on. I know that's the prickly answer, but like, is there a reason to be prickly right now? You fell in love. We're going to say that one. We did. Well, I seduced her. You certainly did not. Yeah, I like you too. Are you telling young Magda here that you seduced me then? Wolfslav, please. They're cute. They ended up being cuter than I thought they were. I thought it was more debaucherism, but it was actual, like, relationship. So, you know what? Good for you two. So you left the Abbey. Well, we were found out, but our secret was kept. Still, the matter ate at my heart. That and being falsely accused of murdering the old Baron terrified you, and rightly so. Okay, so he says falsely. I didn't accuse her. We all must account for our sins, Magdalene. I was afraid I would account for mine sooner than I thought. Those were the hardest years of my life. I repented and prayed to God to absolve me. But the Lord always provides, even in the darkest days. The Abbey's destruction gave us a second chance. I can't imagine that the townsfolk were too happy to let you stay. Must be strange to leave that life after so long. It must have been incredibly difficult. Must be strange. Well, I will admit it's been strange not being able to enter a convent. I miss the sisters terribly some days, but truthfully, it's been a relief not to be constrained by my vows. The Lord forgives more readily than man, Magdalene. Never think that you must remain in a place that causes you to sin, even if others think it godly. I'm glad you two are finally able to live life together. You both deserve it. Never realized you two went through so much together. I'll do the first one. Only by the grace of God are we in this life together. May it be many more years before we part. God willing. Anyway, Magdalene, I'll send that soup over to you shortly. Thank you, Matilda. God bless you, Magda. God bless. Oh, you two are just adorable. All right, who we got up here? Elsa, okay. Elsa and Anna, look, it's freaking frozen right here. Let it go. Let it go. Is this, that shouldn't be Andres. That should be, what's the snowman called? Olaf. All right, let's talk to Elsa. Magdalene, dear. Good day, Magdalene. Hi. How's your father? He's doing better, I think. We're lucky to have Dr. Stoltz in Tassing. He's a hard worker. May God bless Klaus with a speedy recovery. May he be gracious. How are you two? I'm delighted to enjoy another beautiful autumn day. I'm just glad to be sitting down for a moment. I'm so tired. Wrung dry. Andreas and Ulrich can wear down even the most vigorous person. You're named after Andreas, aren't you? Not even young Otts can keep up with these two. The blessing and the curse of small children. They have unlimited energy, it seems, until they don't. My son, as soon as he wakes up, bounces out of bed like a ray of sunshine, all the energy and happiness in the world, goes hard all day, and then just passes out. Sleeps like a rock. Insane. Whereas me, it takes me a good 2 to 3 hours to really get going after I wake up in the morning. Got to get my coffee, got to contemplate life, got to just sit there and groan for a minute. It's crazy how that works. Mom. Ulrich, is she all right? Oh, yes, she wanted to run off and hide so I could find her after I've caught my breath for a moment. That's that old trick. Hey, go hide. I'll come find you. Oh, you're such a good hider. I'm going to have to sit here 15 minutes and look for you. I don't think she appreciates me taking this long. So Ulrich is a female name. You're not playing along, Andreas, hiding like your sister? No. This young man won't lose sight of his mom. Say, Magdalene, could you perhaps go find Ulrich in my stead? Sure, I'd be delighted. Wonderful. She's somewhere in town, although I'm not sure where by now. She ran up the street towards the bakery. I imagined you could find her by the giggling. Hee hee. I'll be off then. All right, we've got a child to find. We got here Fabian and Ursula. Oh, Ursula, you like really grown. And you got you a husband, I assume. Ursula says hello, as does Fabian. All right, cool. Good talk. The Kreutzer house with Otz. Let's talk to Otz. What do you got to say? Hey, Mags. Got your way with the mural, huh? I didn't expect you to convince the council like that. I didn't expect the town to pick a half-wit like you for the council, so I guess we're all disappointed. Boom, he's going to love that. Jesus, Mags, a minute as a compliment. The rest of the council has been arguing over the matter for so long, even I couldn't get a word in. Then you come in and shut them up in a few minutes. We could use we could use more. There we go, I thought that was rude. More women like you in the town. What do you mean by that, Otz? There are plenty of opinionated women in town. Want to let us join the council? Well, you'd have to take that up with the Lord. Besides, I don't think any of them are as hard-headed as you. You're the exception, Magdalene. You always are. Clearly, you've forgotten about Agnes. She doesn't suffer fools gladly. It's not what I meant. She's not... Oh, never mind. Forget about it. Anyway, standing up to the council like that was great. I know I'm on the council, but sometimes it doesn't seem like I have any influence. You do, though. You vouched for me to do the mural in the first place. Well, you are the youngest member of the council. The others have much more life experience. Maybe that's a good thing. You'll waste all of your time with Croft and Apollo anyway. Otz actually seems insecure about his place on the council. Let's boost him up. He may be an ass sometimes, but I don't like to see him upset. He's always poking fun at me, too. Maybe I should remind him he's not all that important after all. No, let's not kick a man when he's down. Jesus Christ. Maybe I should reassure him. You do, though. You vouched for me to do the mural in the first place. Only after your dad did. I still feel bad about that. I could have stuck up for you. Being the youngest one in the council has been harder than I thought. I know Baltus and Werner don't think I'm capable, and even Paul has warned me about being too rash. My dad died trying to make a difference in this town. All I'm trying to do is carry on his legacy, but it seems like the others won't make room for any change. Keep pushing Otz, they're stuck in the past, but we're looking towards the future of Tassing. Sound like my dad, he always said that the council was scared of doing anything important. I don't think anything is going to change for the better in this town. It's stuck in its ways. Let's go with the top one. Give him some hope. Magdalene. It'll take time, but maybe they'll listen to me eventually. Well, better get back to it. See you later, Mags. Let's go in your house. Let's talk to Black Till. He's supposed to have info on the history. God bless you, Till. Do you have a moment? Of course, what do you need? Ott says you've been obsessed with your painting. I'm looking into the early history of Tassing, the first part of the mural. Hey, I have other interests too. Ott is just jealous that I spend more time with his mural than I do with him. Top one, looking into the early history. Mother Illuminata said your grandfather read about the history of the town. Ah, fertile fields, that is. Seemed like old pot shards and Latin trivia were all he ever talked about. Old pot shards. Okay, so like he was a historian. All right, all of Granddad's reading came from the Abbey's library, though, as you know what happened there. All right, we're going to continue this conversation with Black Till and hopefully find, I forgot the little girl's name already, Ulrich, I believe it was. And then maybe read that book and maybe paint a mural. We'll see. But that's going to do it for this episode. Thanks for watching. If you enjoy my content, please consider a like, a comment, and or a subscribe. Stay tuned for the next episode. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.